Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we got quite a big update on the 30-gallon Reef tank. It's been quite some weeks since I last did an update. I've just been doing kind of small little videos here and there, but we've got a big one for this week. I've got some very good news to share. I've got a few bad news. We've actually had we've had a death in the tank, we've had a loss, but we've had some good stuff being going on as well. So I'm going to try my best to keep this video under 10 minutes. I doubt we'll succeed, but I just got a lot to get through. So we'll just go through. We're going to start with the bad news, I guess. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the fish population in this tank is now down to 7 fish in this tank. We did have 8, but we've lost one, and that was the peacock wrasse. That was, you know, the one that was buried in the sand for quite some months actually. It came out getting quite bullied by the radiant wrasse, which is the darkish coloured one. I don't know where he's gone. Getting quite bullied by that, kind of nipping at it. This one at the front there, this one got quite aggressive against it, and then the next morning I thought that it would be fine, probably kind of sort things out during the night. But next morning it was dead in this corner down here where the intake pipe is, and yeah, I was certain it was dead. I had to get that out. So it's a bit annoying that died. I'm not really too sure what from. Too much stress, I suppose, maybe on the tank. It was buried in the sand for months, so it came out like once a day, barely even ate anything. This happened quite some weeks ago, actually about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So back down to 7 fish. I think I'm gonna get a couple Bango Cardinals for this tank, just to, you know, put a little bit more fish in the tank. I can afford to, since I've got a massive filter, which I'll get onto that in just a few minutes. A few particular corals that are doing really well is this pink hystrix. You can see all these little spikes. See on here, all these little spikes coming up. That's a good sign. They are brand new since about a week ago. I think it might be a week or 2 ago they started appearing, which is really good. It means it's growing pretty quickly. Also, this elkhorn coral, which is probably one of my favourite corals in here, just because the pattern of it is very unique. This one's probably the fastest grower in here at the moment. This one's spiking up loads. Also, this aquapora, yeah, the colour isn't great on it yet. It is supposed to have a bit of a bluish purple colour to it, so it will look quite nice over time. But this is growing pretty well. You see all these little, again, those little branches coming off from the base. This is a really good sign. And also this blue digitata that's just through this gap. It's not that big, it's quite small actually, but you can see the tips are quite white, and they're starting to branch out, which is nice. Also, the green star polyps on the back wall is starting to, well, it's always been to, but recently it's been growing quite a lot faster than usual. You see around the edge here, it's been quite white. That's all the new growth. It's getting quite close to that wave pump actually, so it won't be long until I'm gonna have to frag that back actually. This side's starting to crawl over quite a bit, as you can see on the end there. This is another aquapora that's doing really well. You see all the branches are coming off it. Lots of new branches actually. This one's growing really nicely, and you can see it's spaced out onto the rockscape here as well, which is cool. So there are all the corals that have done particularly well recently. I mean, all of them are growing, but those 1, 2, 5 have been doing really well recently in the past few weeks, been growing quite fast. I just want to quickly talk about this skimmer. This has been running on the tank since like the 2nd month in, so about a year now, and it's been pretty good. It was quite loud for a while, but it's quieted down quite a bit the past 6 months. It's been really well. But I've recently come across something with the skimmer, and it's actually a good thing. It's a good news actually. So you can see where what is collected. You can see there, that's the dark bit there. That's what it's collected. Okay, in a month. The skimmer's working completely fine. The bubbles are rising up alright. It's all working exactly how it should. Pump was cleaned not that long ago, so it's working, you know, perfectly fine. And that's how much it's collected in about a month. And the only thing I've changed is this. So I still have the skimmer on the same period of time during the day, which is about 12 hours during the day, and then it's off during the night, and it's barely collecting anything, so that means there's barely any organics in the water. So that's a really good thing that the filter's doing its job. Obviously, more than what I thought it would. I didn't think the skimmer would, not be taken out much. That's all it's collected in a month, and it's quite clear that it's not quite dark. It's quite clear. It's virtually pure water. The Mexican turbo snail, which has been in here for quite a while now, has been doing actually a really good job. If we take a look at this plate up here, well, this little this rockscape here where it kind of branches out, this was really covered in this algae here. I think someone called it I think it's candy floss algae, something like that. It's actually quite nice. I don't really mind it that much because it's got quite a nice colour to it. It's nice red. It looks really natural. But that snail definitely eats it because this was covered in it, and then in just one night's of work, it got rid of all of it. Obviously, I'd rather not have it, but it's not really a massive deal. It'll probably go. Well, I mean, it will go over time. Snail will probably eat most of it. But I've seen some patches here and there. This rock in the middle was quite heavily coated in it, but it's now, there's a lot less on there now, so that snail is doing its job. Not too sure where it is at the moment. It kind of usually hides under here, usually somewhere. I'm not too sure what it is now, but it does come alive. Well, everything comes alive at night apart from the fish, but all the peppermint shrimps, the starfish. There's a couple starfish in here. There's, what else is there? Yeah, the snail. All cleanup crew comes to life at night, well, most of it does. So temperature stayed alright, because I did do a video about a month ago where it did drop down, but since then it's been pretty good. Well, yeah, it's dead on actually. It's been staying between those two figures there, just by 0.1 or 0.2 change, which is good. Both wave pumps are working really well. Since I cleaned them, you can see this one on the right, that's only down on half power, because recently since I cleaned it, it's been pushing out so much more power. It's too much. So I've actually had to turn that down quite a bit, because otherwise it makes a splashy noise on the top of the surface there. But this one's still on full power, so there's still plenty of flow in there. There's about 15,000 litres an hour at least, including the return pump. So that's plenty in there just for a 30-gallon tank. So you see the skimmer's it's not dialed all the way up, it's just a little bit. So it's running at about 30%, which isn't much, but it's been running about 30-40%. For quite a few months now, and it's been fine. But since I put that new filter on, it's been really good. I mean, as in it's barely taken out anything, which is good. Obviously, I still have it on in case things change. Organics might, things in the tank are always changing, so organics might, come back. The skimmer's going to start doing its job. I also use it for oxygen, make sure there's plenty of oxygen, but judging by the amount of surface vegetation I got, which is quite a bit in there, well actually there's a ton in there, it doesn't flicker or splash or anything. A little bit over here, that's why I had to turn the wave pump down, but it's not too bad. But that keeps a lot of gas exchange into the tank, so plenty of oxygen, but I keep that skim on just to make sure everything is okay. So other than the peacock grass passing on, everything else is doing really well. Corals are growing, wave pumps are pushing out a ton of flow, which is great. Filter's working perfectly. I clean that out every 2 to 3 weeks, which is good. I could get a month of pushing it if I had to, a month at the most. But just to be safe, I'll do it every 2 to 3 weeks during a water change. I give all the sponges a good big clean. Yeah, all the corals are doing well. Cleanup crew's doing well. I got a few peppermint shrimp. They're all doing fine. They come out at night and then eat any aptasias, which are none in here actually. I guess they pick at algae and pods and all sorts they can scavenge around and find. So I think I'll leave this update here. For next week, not too sure what I'm going to do yet. Maybe another update, depends what goes on. I do want to probably get a 1 or maybe 2 Bangai cardinals for this tank, just to add a little bit more fish and movement into the tank. And I do quite like those fish, so I might look into getting them. I'm going to see whether or not they do well with wrasse. I'm pretty sure they do, but some fish they might be a bit off with. I'm not really too sure. I'm going to do a little bit of work on them. Don't really know much about them, and then I'll get back to you guys next week. So thank you everyone who watched this video, and I will see you in a week's time. Bye.